Alrighty, welcome everyone to another new video. It's essentially the last recorded video I do for 2024. I did have my PlayStation wrap up before this. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I did that video a couple of weeks ago. It's going to be uploaded later on today. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Today we're going through the 30th anniversary of PlayStation. I figure this would be the last video I would put out. In regards to 2024. A lot to look forward to in 2025, but going by the history here of PlayStation here. Now, even though I have a lot of history with the first PlayStation, in terms of owning it, I had very, very little time with this thing. Unfortunately, mine got damaged. The only thing I have remembrance of that is a PlayStation memory card and a couple of PlayStation games. I still have my original copy of Mega Man X4. So, yeah, as this was PlayStation's first foray into the gaming industry, truly, after their failed partnership with Nintendo. See, 1994 in Japan. Technically, next year would be the year it would have been over here in 1995. But yeah, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation. 102 million units sold. From 1994 to 2006? Excuse me? Now, this is news to me. Bro, that means it was around still during the entirety of the PS2 generation. What the hell? I didn't even know that. I thought the PS2 was the only one that did that mess, and I guess technically now the PS4. But, like, bruh. Okay. Well, the launch of the PlayStation introduced players to a new dimension of games. Traditional 2D experiences gave way to real-time rendering for more complex 3D worlds that pushed the boundaries of what was possible from home video games. Yeah, I see Tekken 1, Final Fantasy 7, Parappa the Rapper. Is that Getaway? You have Ape Escape there. Dog, you look at some of these graphics of some of these games, bro. And we thought that was cutting edge back in the day, bro. The 32-bit CPU at the heart of the PlayStation, powered a 32-bit R3000 CPU, capable of millions of colors, and generated hundreds and thousands of polygons. This was cutting-edge gaming hardware. 360,000 polygons. 3D graphics that polygons process power meant that original PlayStation could bring 3D arcade games like Tekken and Ridge Racer into the home in support of all new visual thrilling experiences such as Wipeout and Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, games on CD. By using the CD-ROM format, PlayStation games could be much bigger than cartridge alternatives, opening the door to classics like obviously Final Fantasy VII to the development for the PlayStation console. manufactured faster and more affordable even for players. Yeah, tell Dad to stay home. He can't total the car. Okay. Now, this came in 3 different versions, obviously. The original, the PS1, which I had this one. I could have gotten this one. A friend of mine had this. I unfortunately did not. I never got around to getting the classic because it was kind of pointless for me to get this. The original launching demo disc allowed new owners to preview available games. Yeah, PlayStation pretty much started demos, actual demos you can play at home. The slimmer, lighter sibling to the PlayStation console. PlayStation 1 was released in 2000 to make more portable and affordable. Fast forward 24 years, and the original PlayStation console design returned in a miniature with a selection of preloaded games and a pair of original controllers. And then, yeah, if you had the PS1, you had this little freaking combo pack thing that you can actually go play on the go with. This was insane. And then you have the original PlayStation controller. Shipping with enemies, our original controllers introduced the iconic PlayStation shapes to the world. Yeah, the whole triangle, circle, cross, and square, even though a lot of people love to call it X. And then this is funny to me. So the dual analog controller, I have never seen this. I know there was 2 versions of this. I've never seen these sticks before. Oh, man. 3 years later, the thumbs control with the introduction of dual analog sticks, giving a greater degree of movement in 3Ds. So understand the dual analog setup. You can thank PlayStation for this because no one did this. Before this, we were all still doing joysticks as doing the whole home 3D motion with it. This was a game changer right here, which would essentially create one of the most iconic controllers with the DualShock 1. Soon after, companies shake up again with the addition of the dual vibration motors. Yep. This was the first controller to have dual motors within the handles. As long as it sticks with the rumble grips. Longer stems to improve control. It's crazy. And then authentic dual. Yeah. Yeah, this was back when PlayStation would go crazy with the translucent materials. Now, I've never seen the black. Then again, I never did see the black PlayStation. You know, that was like a rare item thing you can get. But yeah, they kept this tradition at least with the PS2. And yeah, you had an analog sticks for flights. I mean, this is what I think was Ace Combat. I had for that one. And here you can see the different accessories from the memory card to its version of the multi-tap, which essentially allowed it to actually house what was it, 6 controllers? Yeah. Um, Featured lanes, but thanks to the official multiplayer adapter, 4 controllers could share a single port. Add a second multi-tap and up to 8. Up to 8. Oh, so this thing actually connected to the actual controller port. So if you had 2 of these, it did 8. It allowed the PlayStation to handle 8 controllers. Well, they changed that with the PS2 because the PS2, if I remember, you had it was using USB Type A. So if you added 2 multi taps with that, you would have the 8 controller set up with the multi taps, but then you still freed up the 2 ports for the on the actual PS2 itself. So it ended up holding about 10 controllers. That was the most we were ever able to house on one console. Never got that again. The Wii U and the Switch pulled off 8 controllers, and yeah, we just never got that again. You got the Pocket Station. Only available in Japan. The Pocket Station doubled as a memory card and a personal digital assistant, letting users share game saves via infrared technology, as long as playing mini games from select titles on its LCD screen. It's crazy. Mouse, intended to point and click adventure games like Broken Sword and Discworld. This official mouse peripheral also gave PC-style controls to games like Lemmings and SimCity 2000. Yeah, this is when around PC games were starting to come on consoles. I don't remember if Sega Saturn had a peripheral of their own with that. It probably did. But yeah, this is around the time that PC games were starting to come on consoles. Release in 1996. Introduction of these PlayStation games allowed a greater range of movement for flying games such as Ace Combat. Yeah, I knew that. As a precursor to the dual analog sticks that still feature on modern PlayStation controllers. Oh, so this was the precursor to the analog sticks. Makes sense. Yeah, obviously the first Lara Croft game. Oh, the Tomb Raider. These were the games, they were iconic for it. Ridge Racer. This PlayStation launch title brought high-speed arcade racing to home consoles like never before, boosted accessibility playing. Aggressive 3D. Yeah, we also had Tekken. Another arcade hit that found a home on PlayStation. The 3D rolling of Tekken was an instant hit with beat-up fans and casual gamers alike. Spawns a series that continues to innovate. Wipeout. Yeah, we haven't had a Wipeout since PS3. They keep remastering the PS3 game. It's crazy. Yeah, the original Tomb Raider, which they recently released in multiple collections recently. Parappa the Rapper, yeah, the original Resident Evil. Crash Bandicoot, obviously Final Fantasy VII. Gran Turismo, which was their best-selling game on that console. This one being the second best-selling. Oddworld, Metal Gear Solid, Ape Escape. Oh man, Psycho Mantis boss fight. Don't get me started on that mess where we had to literally change the position of the freaking controller port. Like, what's... Yo, Kojima was wilding with that, bro. Oh, man. Anyway, let's get on with the PS2. Alright. Now we're getting into the PS2 generation. The generation I pretty much spend on the most. Heavily, my heavy history with PlayStation is on this console here. 2000. Now, ironically, I didn't get the PS2 till I think 2004 or 5. No, it was 2005 where I got my PS2 Slim. But I played a lot of PS2. Whether it was at my friend's house, here in Toronto, well, back when the Rogers Center used to be called Skydome, it was heavily sponsored by PlayStation, and so they had like a whole lot of PS2 booths. The place that I work at now, we're attached to Coca-Cola Coliseum, and they got a plethora of old PS2s there too as well. And some PS4s, oddly enough. But, yeah, I have a lot of history with PlayStation 2. PlayStation generation. Giant leaps forward in the home console gaming with augmented reality, online multiplayer gaming, and more ambitious, large-scale games on DVD discs. And that was the big player on this. The introduction to DVDs really helped this console. Because not only were they mass producing on a format that was becoming very big at the time, but this was the cheapest DVD player you can get. And as it states, it's at 160 million units. I saw a lot of people were saying that they made this number up. People, when they announced that this console did 155 million, that was when the PS3 launched. We're in the middle of the PS5 generation. How did y'all not see this coming? It's like, I don't get that. Especially when you find out the PS2 was around during the entirety of the PS3 generation, which lasted 7 years. So, yeah. This, I would totally believe. But, you know, people don't do research, or you have a bunch of these newbies that try to act like they know the gaming industry, but you know, it is what it is. Those in the actual know, you'd know that this is not a fabricated number. The grand reveal, I could go into the revealing that, but you know, I'd rather not. Changing the game. Offering users cutting-edge DVD playback, online functionality, and backwards compatibility, which was a first for PlayStation. With original PlayStation discs, the PS2 console represented an irresistible package at launch and throughout its lifetime. Yeah, the emotion engine. Whoop. Yeah, the emotion engine, console CPU was dubbed the emotion engine due to its ability to generate realistic images for the time and was comprised of 8 separate units, each with a specific function. The DVD age. By 2000, DVD was the most desirable way to watch movies at home, but dedicated DVD players could be costly at the time, so the PS2 console's combination of gaming and DVD playback was hugely attractive to the price-heavy consumers. Yeah, the fact that this thing can play your movies, that was a big deal. And here's the version of the console that I have. Yeah, this is the PS2 Slim in '04. Yeah, I got it about a year later. This is actually the one that I have. The all black, obviously. And the fact that you can actually turn that little logo symbol depending on the positioning you had the PS2. They did come out with other color variants like the white, red, silver, and metallic blue. The iconic pink version released in 2006. Mm. Okay. From the network adapter. This allowed online play and whatnot. If I'm not mistaken, if you had the original PS2, this thing had the ability to have like a 20 gig hard drive in it. Unfortunately, that ability was lost when they made the Slim, but it is what it is. And then this is all obviously the famous games noted. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, which I believe they just recently did a remaster to that one. You have Capcom's versus SNK 2, which they're about to have this game back on the Capcom Fighting Collection that comes out next year. So be on the lookout for that. SOCOM, this was so big back then, man. It's just, bro, like, SOCOM was so good back in the day. Final Fantasy 11. Star Wars Battlefront, although I'm surprised why didn't they show Battlefront 2, but I guess that one was more Xbox, I guess. Introducing backwards compatibility. Yeah, and the iconic games. Jak and Daxter, Twisted Metal Black, Ico, Ratchet and Clank, which this was what I was playing a lot of. Sly Cooper, Killzone, Resident Evil 4, which is still my favorite Resident Evil. The remake is, they somehow made that better, but man, I did definitely, Resident Evil was my favorite Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4, sorry, was my favorite Resident Evil. You have God of War, Shadow of the Colossus, Evolution of Sing Evolution. Bro, where's the picture for the DualShock 2? Come on, PlayStation, man. You had one job. Anyway, you had the SingStar mics, buzzers for the Buzz series. The iToy camera, which started the whole camera thing with PlayStation. Ever since this, every PlayStation got a camera in some form or fashion. Even the if I'm not mistaken, the PSP and even the Vita had well, the Vita literally has cameras on it, but the PSP ended up getting a camera on it as well, camera peripheral as well. This thing continued on the PS3 as well as oh yeah, the PS4, and obviously the PS5 has the HD camera. But yeah, this was the start of it, bro. Yep. Star on the on-screen action. iToy ease and motion. Needs many PS2 titles, enhancements, and like The Sims and Tony Hawk series. And then Guitar Hero. Let's get started on this one. Guitar Hero and Rock Band, like peripherals with the guitar, and even they used to have the drums as well. Bro, they don't do this no more, man. And I'm so mad they don't have the picture of the... Wow, the failing look of the PS2 controller, which thanks a lot, site that just can't figure itself out. But yeah, they just don't do peripherals like that no more. Oh, and then also bring up the PSP. Okay, PSP December 11th, 2004. Used in North America March 24th, 2005. Right in the wave of the success of the PS2 era, it was time to try something new. PlayStation Portable took console quality gaming away from the TV screen and out into the world as handheld device and combined full-scale gaming experience with innovations in online technology and media playback that had come to fore with PS2. Yeah, and I still have this bad boy. I just actually recently got it last year. I bought that and a Vita last year. So what's crazy is like um, I didn't originally have this at all. And then I got my Vita kind of turned that into an emulator, so now my Vita has all that now. But man, they were really ahead of their time with the PSP because everything that you now see with handhelds now is because of this thing here. And people try and tell you the Nintendo handhelds is like, no, Nintendo dominated this market with their handhelds, but this handheld right here, all the stuff that you're enjoying from your gaming handhelds today was because of this thing here. This thing changed the game. Literally. And yeah, the fact it sold over 80 million units. This I didn't know until recently when I was watching a podcast and they were talking about each of the PlayStation products. And this thing sold over 80 million. And I'm like, what? What? Which really showed you how much the Vita failed. Because how do you come after this and don't even sell 20 million units? It's crazy. But yeah, this thing sold 80 million units. PSP took the world by storm, powerhouse, giving owners not only portable gaming system, but also DVD quality movie playback and MP3 music player. Yeah, so you were playing your music and playing movies on this thing, so that was another key factor to this. Over its lifetime, PSP sold over 80 million units worldwide. That's crazy. And yeah, this was the big player on this one. Yeah, Universal Media Disc, or the UMD. Small size, acquired a new format of its games. Enter UMD. The tiny disc hold impressive 1.8 gigs of data. Enough for full-size games, features, music. Bro, that means it was able to fit in some games that would be larger than the games you would see on PS2. That's insane. It really was ahead of their time on that. On that Gran Turismo here. Port upon Jack and that means. Alright, media playback. Games were the main focus of the PSP, but it was also able to capable of multimedia device with a wealth of movies and music available on UMD. Music and video collections could be saved to the system storage and saved as playlists using the Media Go app. Wireless online connectivity. In the days of before smartphones, PSP gave players a handheld internet browsing device and video game calling via Skype app. Whether the latter launch of PlayStation Network, PlayStation Store, but a vast downloadable game store in palm of your hands. Yeah. Infrastructure versus AD modes. And then you have games on the go. Ape Escape, Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. They recently put out all the Siphon Filter games. Local Roll, Patapon, God of War Chains of Olympus. Like, I literally have multiple versions of this game. Because I have this on do I have it on PS4? I think I have this on PS4, and I'm not sure if I have this on PS5. No, it would be on PS4. They haven't done a PS5 collection yet. Grand Theft Auto, Chinatown Wars. I'm sorry I didn't use Vice City thing, but okay. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Yeah, yeah, definitely the most famous one on here. Now I'm surprised they didn't put Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII on this. All right, now we're getting to the console I had the second longest time with, and that would be the PS3. Now we get to the PS3. Now this is the generation that came with a lot of ups and downs. PlayStation was just wild and trying to charge this thing for $600 back in the day. And the fact you didn't have that many games with it as well, and then the fact that whole cell processor. But yeah, this thing came out 2007, November 11th, 2006. They brought this out on remember that is hilarious. Anywho, November 17th in North America. But PlayStation 3 era built a legacy of previous generations with incredible leaps forward in online gaming digital services. While the arrival of Blu-ray disc games allowed creators to expand their ambitions and build true immersive game worlds on a grand scale. They are lucky Blu-ray won in between the battle between Blu-ray and HD DVD. They are very lucky Blu-ray won. Because if it didn't, ooh, oh man, and I felt sorry for the people who bought that HD DVD peripheral for the 360, because man, did that become a waste. Man, yeah, I think HD DVD only lasted about a couple of years or so. So yeah, PlayStation was very lucky Blu-ray won that war. But yeah, it only does everything, which yeah, you focus too much on everything and it ended up costing you in the beginning. The thing is, the only console that did not sell over 100 million units. It did 87 million. As well as introduce gamers to incredible single-player adventures and revolutionary online experiences. PS3 became the entertainment mainstay in owners' homes thanks to new music and movie streaming apps and easily accessible digital games via the new PlayStation Store. Yeah. And changing the game. From navigating a revolutionary user interface to playing games in a whole new dimension, PS3 changed how players interact with their game worlds. The cross-media bar. XMB. The wealth of new features services available to PS3 called for the new user interface. Cross media bar or XMB put games, videos, digital services, and more at the player's fingertips, making it rapidly expanding world of PlayStation easier to navigate. Yeah, the PSP essentially introduced this. Stereoscopic 3D for players with a 3D TV and glasses to match. Select PS3 games entered a whole new dimension from the high speed racing thrills of Wipeout HD to the action packed adventure of Uncharted 3 Drake's Fortune. This setup immersed players like none other. Yeah, PlayStation was essentially the only one who was really pushing the 3D there. And then I don't even remember which games I had that actually still can do 3D. HDMI ready, another smart move that they did. HD, was it games entered ever into a game? Wow, can I read? Games came into ever sharper focus as the PS3 console kept pace with improvements in TV technology. All those fine details were kept crisp thanks to 1080p output available right out the box, even though most of the games were 720p. And here are the different console variations. Now, this is the current PS3 that I have now, the PS3 Slim. And it's exactly the 120 gig model that I got. While not officially called the Slim, this smaller, lighter, less power-consuming model earned the moniker due to its lethe look compared to the predecessor and was available in a range of hard drive capacities from 120 to 320 gigs. Now, obviously, the Super Slim that came out in 2012. An even slimmer take on the PS3 was released at the late 2012 with storage options ranging between lightweight 12 gig of flash memory to a chunky 500 gig hard drive. Just like the previous two models, this Sewell called Super Slim PS3 could be used horizontally and vertically, but replaced earlier systems' slot loading drives with a sliding disc cover. Yeah, the Blu-ray disc. Opening there. Yeah. New dimensions of control. Motion arrives, shaking up the way we play on unlocking new abilities in PlayStation gaming. Yeah, so this brought out the 6-axis, PlayStation's original PS3's original controller featured Bluetooth connectivity and added 6-way motion controls, hence the name, and retained our ergonomic layout of its immediate predecessor. DualShock 3 wireless controller featured the same 6-axis technology as the launch controller, but with the added vibration functionality. DualShock 3 became the standard of the console from late 2007 onwards. Yeah, mainly because they had a lawsuit over the whole Rumble thing. Yeah, so that is why they didn't have it before. Obviously, the PlayStation Move motion controller, which would later still be used for the first PlayStation VR. The motion controller used inner sensors to detect motion while its color changing orb was tracked by PlayStation Eye camera to follow the player's position. A one-handed device, PlayStation Move could be paired with a navigation controller for titles requiring analog stick precision, and also inserted into the sharpshooter. a rifle-shaped attachment suitable for FPS games. First-person shooters. PlayStation is compatible with PS4, PlayStation VR, and PS5. Yeah, this thing is still used on even the PS5. Oh boy. In PlayStation Move games, you had Kung Fu Rider. Oh my gosh. This one was the big one here. PlayStation Sports Champions. This was actually really good. A lot of people who had the PlayStation Move definitely played this game. Yeah, Start the Party. Book of Spells. This one I remember from Wonder Book. And then PlayStation Move Heroes. Interesting. Iconic PlayStation 3 games. Mortar Storm, Pacific Rift. This series needs to come back. Mortar Storm. This is pretty much dead. At this point, Insomniac is basically doing Marvel games now. Uncharted 4, Drake's Fortune. Great series. One of my favorite series of all time from PlayStation. Assassin's Creed. Little Bit Planet. Infamous. Gran Turismo 5. Which was essentially the last majorly good Gran Turismo until the recent Gran Turismo 7 came out. Grand Theft Auto 5. Obviously, The Last of Us. And then obviously the Digital Age brought out the PlayStation Network. An evolution of PS2's consoles' earlier steps online. PlayStation Network, or PSN, made online play easier thanks to PS3 launching Wi-Fi ready. PS3 launching Wi-Fi ready. Online play, downloadable games, trophies, streaming services, social media, and much more were suddenly in everyone's reach and open up incredible new possibilities to world via new online platform. PlayStation Store. This all-new PlayStation Store offered users a streamlined shopping experience running within the PS3 console itself, providing immediate access to a vast collection of digital games. The same easily navigable setup came to the PSP 2, ensuring a unified experience across home gaming and portable play. Yeah, I cannot stress enough how slow PlayStation Store was. Oh my god. Yo. Oh my gosh, it was so slow. So slow. PlayStation Plus, PlayStation's new subscription service offered games, multiplayer services, and discount to PS3 players, and launched with Wipeout HD alongside a full game trial of Infamous and a handful of classic PlayStation titles. Things have come a long way for PlayStation Plus, which now offers subscribers an incredible catalog of games from across the PlayStation generations and various membership plans to choose from. PlayStation Home. This thing, what the metaverse trying to be right now, this was a big thing. And the fact that PS3 was able to do that, and like that's tells you how far truly that console was. But yeah, PlayStation Home was a PS3 social space that grew to 41 million users. Jeez. Each represented by a customizable avatar, enjoying community events, mini games, and a variety of areas to interact with each other in. Virtual versions of the PlayStation E3 booth within Home and the 2009 alternate reality game XI, which played out in real time, was a massive hit with users. Yeah, the fact that when they did their E3 presentations, they actually did an actual E3 render of their booth inside PlayStation. It was crazy. This was so good. This was so good, and then I'm not surprised it reached over 40 million, 40 million users. I'm not surprised by that. But like this, man, they were so ahead of their game on that one. I got 2011 the Vita. And the thing is, oh my gosh, this is capitalized. Everyone is capitalizing on the technology that this thing brought. Everyone. It's such a shame because this console was really good. The problem was how they handled this thing. It was, bro. First of all, you made a peripheral freaking memory. Stupid. Stupid. I will forever say that. This should have had micro, like, well, some kind of SD. I don't think micro SD was a thing yet, but like, they should have done SD cards here. Instead, they did peripheral memory. They were as expensive, if not more, than the games. It was insane, bro. Anyway, this thing came out December 17th, 2011. Came out February 22nd in 2012. PlayStation Vita marked another evolution leap forward in portable gaming. The revolutionary new features bringing in new elements of handheld play with anchored to the spirit of console gaming with the incredible experiences and blockbuster games. Yeah. These built on the promise of console quality gaming in a portable device with a launch lineup that cater to all tastes. From affordable digital only, it was like Super Stardust Delta to blockbuster adventures like Uncharted Golden Abyss, which I am currently playing on my Vita today, and Wipeout 2048 that also came locked on tiny game cards. Changing the game, putting a true console experience into the pockets of gamers. Wide innovations on more compact scale, from how players interact their game worlds to building interconnected ecosystem with home PlayStation consoles. Yeah, remote play was essentially perfected on this thing. Something they try to introduce with the PSP and the PS3. It was perfected here. On OLED display and touchscreen, Vita's premium screen offered a higher resolution for games and had them popping with clarity and color. Touchscreen functionality came into its own on games like Tearaway and Vita's version of Little Big Planet. Weird touchpad, which eventually was used on the DualShock 4 controller and currently used on the PS5's DualSense controllers. Rear touchpad, additional touch sensitivity on the rear of the PlayStation Vita gave players increased options for control and comfort. Using this unique input, players take control of games in new ways, shoot with greater accuracy in FIFA football and activity, special moves in God of War collection. Remote play. Many PS4 games and selection of PS3 games could be played on PlayStation Vita via remote play over a Wi-Fi network, allowing games to free up their TV screen and take their adventures on the handheld screen. Like I said, remote play ended up being perfected on this thing. This thing was a heavy indie game thing. Golden Abyss, Gravity Rush, Little Big Planet, Wipeout 2048. Arguably, the best game on the Vita ever was Persona 4 Golden. Yeah. Soul Sacrifice, and tear away. And you can see Ben Studios back there. Yep. VS survives the apocalypse. Yeah, Drive Club, a TV playing some launcher. Alright. Next one we're getting into is the PS4. Alright. Next one on the list, PS4. Now, I got into this generation late. I honestly didn't get my PS4 till like a couple of days after my birthday in 2017. So like I got into this generation late. Yeah, 2013, November 15th. And this is the first time they actually did the reverse and gave the Japanese release last. But arriving into more connected online world, PS4 ushered in more social and shareable experiences thanks to the innovative, like the DualShock 4 controllers share button, live gameplay streaming, player communities, and share play. But social features would be nothing without incredible experiences to share with the friends. And fortunately, PS4 had no shortage of games with showing off. Yeah. Greatness awaits. PS4 was the first PlayStation console to launch in North America ahead of its release in Japan, Europe, and the rest of the world. Since then, it has sold over 117 million units. Consoles worldwide remains a gaming powerhouse with new games still being produced and played today. Yep. And they don't seem to be stopping on that thing. Game changer, including games, a social the community of players, and the tech to show all off the crisp high definition. In 2013, PS4 had it all. You have the 8 gig GDDR5, which this ended up being the difference between that and the Xbox One. This little thing here. PS4 users were playing with power from the get-go with 8 gigs of GDDR5 unified system memory, something that they failed to do with PS3 because PS3 was separate memory, giving it 16 times the RAM of PS3. This exceptional capacity meant PS4 was designed for longevity as developers continued to push the hardware over its lifespan. Sharing community. Share play on PS4. Let players to share their screen with an online friend, allowing them to show off their skills, play together, or hand the controller over to the second user. Communities further this social side of PS4, allowing users to set up groups like players to talk tactics and arrange matches. Remote play. Players wanting to use their PS4 but have to share the TV with another. Other people could take advantage of remote play to control their console via PC, Mac, smartphone, or their PlayStation Vita and carry on playing using a DualShock 4 wireless controller. Console versions. There was the PS4 Slim. In 2016, a slimmer, lighter variant of the PS4 was released, packing the same features, power, and gameplay experience into a more rounded, streamlined form factor. PS4 glaze is in stark contrast from the matte black Launch version PS4 also enjoyed a Glacier White refresh for its base, slim, and pro models. Yeah, I actually have the white version of the original PS4. I don't have the black one. And yeah, there was I believe this was the 20th anniversary. Yeah, this one was the 20th anniversary when they did this for the PS4. They just recently did for the PS5 with obviously with the 30th anniversary, but you know, taking control with the PS4 era coming on an updated and improved way to play. The DualShock 4 wireless controller, but share features within thumb's reach. Added new cloud touchpad and brought a seeing of color with the new light bar, and the form factor was changed as well. Now, some still argue that this ended up truly becoming PlayStation's best ever controller. In some ways, I agree. Just because of they literally felt on the hands. Yeah, this was at the time was the best controller PlayStation ever made. To me, to me personally, now it's definitely the DualSense Edge controller is their best controller ever made, but that's just my opinion. Share button, we already talked about that. The light bar, touchpad, and the mic and speaker thing. Iconic PS4 games, the Playroom, Killzone Shadowfall, Resogun, Infamous Second Son, Bloodborne, The Last Guardian, Uncharted 4, Thief's End, Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us Part 2. And you have the PS4 Pro, which I also have. I actually got the Spider-Man PS4 Pro. Yeah, officially launched in November 2016. The PS4 Pro featured an upgraded GPU, 4.198 teraflops of power, with a higher CPU clock for enhanced gameplay performance. 4K resolution was supported on the selected games, and the PS4 Pro was fully capable with all previous PS4 games. PlayStation VR 2016. October 13th in 2016. PlayStation VR was announced in 2014 and launched 2 years later with the promise of full immersed players in game worlds like never before. PlayStation VR brought virtual reality experiences to console gamers in new days, transporting them to the top of Mount Everest and the bottom of the ocean with extraordinary clarity. I don't know if 720p is clarity, but okay. PSVR offered a 5.7-inch OLED screen with 1080p resolution. Yeah, when most of that was running at 720p, like I said. 100 degree field of view. LEDs on the headset were tracking by the PlayStation camera to follow the player's head movements. The PlayStation VR was compatible with both the DualShock 4 and the PlayStation Move controllers. Incredible PlayStation VR games. Astro Bot Rescue Mission. I did not mean to do that. PlayStation VR Worlds. Moss, which I believe they're on the second one or the third game? I don't remember. Blood and Truth. Beat Saber, which was really good. No Man's Sky. I've heard nothing but good things about this game at this point. But yeah. And I've been heavily playing Astrobot, so you already know what that is. And then that brings me up, obviously, to the PS5 generation. That leaves us now to this generation with the PS5. November 12th, 2020. In November 2020, in the midst of a global pandemic, PlayStation 5 launched to bring play to new levels in unexpected thrilled ways. From the radical form factor revealed in June of that year to the tactile um, responsiveness of the DualSense wireless controller that created new experiences in players' hands. The PS5 console backed all of this up with a system architecture that made play faster, more immersive, and more visually stunning than any PlayStation console before. Yeah, play has no limits. Despite challenging global conditions, launch the PS5 become not only the biggest ever PlayStation launch, but the biggest global console launch in history. Changing the game. While the PlayStation delighted gamers with new experiences that looked, sound, and felt incredible, it was the advanced technology and integrated system architecture under the hood that made this all possible. Spectacular visuals at lightning speed, built from the ground up, fine-tuned for the most realistic gameplay possible. The custom CPU, GPU, and SSD inside the PS5 console work together to thrust players into spectacular game worlds faster than ever before. Breathtaking immersion. The PlayStation console's stunning visuals were complemented by revolutionary gameplay experiences thanks to the unique tactile features of the DualSense wireless controller and the incredible Tempest 3D audio tech, taking in gaming immersion to new sonic levels. PS4 backwards compatibility. Next-gen players were treated to full backward compatibility for their PS4 game collections, meaning thousands of titles were ready to play immediately at launch, with the added bonus of Game Boost technology giving them a new shine. Console variations. In the PS5 console in 2020, original console launch completed with the disk drive and integrated vertical stand, was fully backward compatible with PS4. PS5 digital, digital only version, which was available at launch, designed to play games downloaded from PlayStation Store. PlayStation console model group Slim, released in 2003. This slimmer version of the PS5 digital edition also introduced an optional detachable disk drive. New sensations with PS5 controllers. PS5 marked an era of shift in PlayStation's controller design and functionality as the DualSense wireless controller drive to surprise and delight players worldwide, and was soon joined by the family of controllers for an even wider spectrum of gamers. DualSense controller aids. Console's flagship controller was the evolution of everything that had come before. Old school vibrations were replaced by dynamic haptic feedback that simulated an incredible range of in-game conditions, while the traditional L2 and R2 buttons were upgraded to become adaptive triggers, able to simulate tension as players interact with gear objects as they play, forging a physical connection to the on-screen actions. DualSense Edge wireless controller. This controller here, in my opinion, is their best controller ever made. Right here. 3 years later, the DualSense Edge took the successful stock controller a step further with high-performance components, customizable old features and profiles added for more competitive and standard gaming. Yeah, a lot of people that I've known now, they have now picked up this controller. This thing is just too good at this point. So yeah, in my personal opinion, the controllers they've ever made, this is the best one. The Asus controllers came out in 2023, designed to allow gamers with disabilities to play more comfortably and for longer. The Asus controller was created in close collaboration with accessibility experts, provided extensive customization options for button control stick layout, as well as 360 orientation abilities. Okay. Obviously, iconic PS5 games, Ash's Playroom, Sackboy, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Returnal, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Helldivers 2, and Astrobot. PlayStation Studios breaks new ground. PlayStation generation, PS5 generation also saw PlayStation Studios' critically acclaimed catalog of games begin making the leap to PC. God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn, and many more are now available in a new world of players on the PC platform, playing all the same great features and content that made them a hit on PlayStation. Yeah, whatever. PlayStation Plus gets an upgrade. After over a decade of bringing players together online and delighted members with a vast catalog of downloadable monthly games, PlayStation Plus took a bold step forward in 2022, offering players a whole new range of features such as games catalog, Castlevania's catalog, cloud streaming, games trials, and more. PlayStation Plus also adapted a new tiered membership filled with great games and features for every type of player. PlayStation Stars rewards players loyalty. PlayStation's new loyalty program, PlayStation Stars, launched on the PlayStation app to celebrate PlayStation players' love of play and the shared experience of gaming. By challenging them to complete campaigns, panning mini games and genres, PlayStation Stars awarded participants with digital collectibles to add to their display case, or with the points to redeem from their rewards catalog. The service continues to evolve alongside PlayStation. PlayStation Portal remote player, combining a beautiful 8-inch LCD screen with the unique feature set of DualSense wireless controller. PS5's innovative handheld device expanded gaming horizons by unhooking the traditional home console experience from a big display. Portal means you can now enjoy PS5 biggest hits all around your home, on the couch, in bed, or reclining in your garden. Yeah, and then the fact that they just added cloud streaming to this, now you can go even further than that. PlayStation 5 Pro 2024. As the PlayStation story continues to be written, in 2024, the latest evolution of PS5 was released, bringing with the most immersive visuals over possible PlayStation console, thanks to PlayStation's spectral super resolution, advanced ray tracing, and optimized console performance. And then here's the 30th anniversary collection. PlayStation 30th Anniversary Collection. To celebrate 30 years of play, in late 2024, the 30th Anniversary Collection was unveiled. This limited edition product range included the PS5 Pro console, the PS5 Digital Edition, DualSense wireless controller, DualSense Edge wireless controller, and the PlayStation Portal remote player. all designed with a throwback color scheme and design elements that hark back to the original PlayStation console from 1994. PlayStation VR 2023. VR 2, actually. Taking cues from the PS5 console's immersive tactile features, PlayStation's next step into virtual reality came with a redesign. A lighter, easier to wear headset thanks to the single cable design and bespoke set or controllers complete the unique features that gave players a greater sense of immersion in their game worlds. Feel and taking control. The PlayStation VR Sense controller featured the revolutionary haptic feedback and adaptive triggers that set the DualSense wireless controller apart. Brought a new dimension to games. PlayStation VR2 players could feel all this and more with finger touch. Detection added even more interaction potential to the immersive games available. Games of the generation. You have Horizon Call of the Mountain, Gran Turismo 7, Resident Evil Village VR mode, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy Edge, Resident Evil 4 VR mode, the Dark Pictures Switchback, and yeah, that concludes everything in the celebration history of PlayStation and its 30th anniversary. I hope you guys enjoyed my little rundown on memory lane in the history of PlayStation. I look forward to what they do in the future. Basically, since they're essentially the only brand that's continuing the traditional console method, because Nintendo's doing their own thing. Let's be honest on that one, and who the hell knows Xbox is doing at this point? So, essentially, PlayStation is the only one that's truly keeping home console alive. So I look forward to what they do going forward. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and share. If you're new to the channel and enjoy my content, subscribe to the channel. Follow my social media in the description down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, you guys have a good one, and deuces.